If you are someone that struggles to rest without feeling guilty, or you feel like your worth is tied to how productive you are, this video is for you. This was literally my life for so many years. I feel like I'm still crawling out of that hole of believing that my entire existence is only worthy when I am working a certain amount, or when I'm productive, or when I'm creating or achieving or doing. One of my favorite mantras, if you will, is we are human beings, not human doings. I say this to myself all the time. I am a human being. I'm not a human doing. But we've been so conditioned in our culture and our society, especially I feel like if you are coming from the west of the world, like Western culture is very caught up in and entrapped in the idea that you are only as valuable as the amount of work that you do, and essentially how hard you work and how little you can rest. So much to the point of where I feel like we had sayings and quotes based on no pain, no gain, and sleep is for the weak, literally forcing people to think that as little as sleep as possible and as much work as you can do, like, then you're worthy. So, this notion and this idea that is so ingrained into us, so conditioned into us, I catch myself in these narratives all the time. If I take time off, if I sleep in one morning, if I go out into nature like I am right now, instead of chaining myself to my desk and my laptop first thing in the morning, there is so much guilt and shame and fear associated with this. The more and more I'm becoming aware of this and just recognizing these patterns and these things that are taught to us from such an early age, it is mind blowing how much resistance can come up when we try and actually go rest. And I hear this all the time from women around me when I've hosted women's circles, the clients that I work with. We feel so bad for resting. If we slow down for even 5 minutes, think, okay, well, I should be doing this actually, and I need to get back to my to do list. And I've heard even women saying, oh, if I put on a movie, I feel like I need to, like, every 15 minutes either go do the laundry or do something productive in between. Our nervous systems are so unregulated that we can't even slow down. One thing that I've also realized in my own healing journey is that rest and slowing down is actually a huge part of healing. In the stillness, in the time we take to regulate ourselves, tell our bodies that we're safe, and lower stress levels where stress is really high when we're constantly on the go, when we're constantly busy, when we're constantly jumping from one thing to the next. Stress is really high. And oftentimes we're actually running off of adrenaline. And that starts to feel normal. Running off of adrenaline starts to almost become an addiction. We become addicted to stress because that's what we know. That is not normal. And then you see cultures, for example, certain countries in Europe, they thrive and they take breaks in the afternoon. They take time off of work. They prioritize family. They spend hours at a meal creating connection. And we rush through lunches. We eat on our drive to work. We are constantly rushing, constantly going. It's no wonder we're so drained and miserable and burnt out. My biggest wake up call around my fear and guilt around resting was when I was so extremely burnt out. It first happened a year ago, and I realized that I had such a hard time slowing down. I worked every single day on my business. I never took a day off. Even when I did take a day off, I was still working. I was still thinking. I was still creating content. I was still checking in on clients. I was never actually resting and taking time for me. So it's no wonder I became so extremely burnt out. And I just kept repeating this cycle. And if I did take some time off, okay, now I have to do even extra work, and now I have to do even more, and now I need to make up for this, and I need to earn my rest, and all of these narratives that I think so many of us get caught up in. If you're watching this video, you can probably resonate with feeling really guilty for sleeping in, or maybe taking time off of work, or saying no to an event, or something along the lines of being with other people because you actually just need to recharge your batteries, feeling really shameful and guilty and embarrassed for needing time for yourself or needing time to rest. We are designed to go in cycles, especially as women. Even our menstrual cycle, we are not meant to go balls to the wall every single day of every single month. I really believe that there are cycles of feeling inspired, tuning into that, having a flow with either work or movement or whatever you're doing in your life that feels okay, like this is a time where I'm going to step it up, maybe be a little bit more intentional, be a little bit more focused, and then allowing for there to be shifts, whether it be in your months or every few months, where you take time to also have those slow moments. Because if we don't, our body is literally going to force us, whether it be through burning us out or we're super, super exhausted or we get injured. Our body is really, really smart. And if we don't give it the rest that it needs every so often, and probably more often than we think and that we are used to, it is going to force us to slow down. Know that your worth is so disconnected and not tied whatsoever to how productive you are. Your worth is based in you as a person, you as a being, you just existing and being yourself and being authentic and just literally showing up as who you are. That is your purpose. Your purpose is not to grind it out at work or to scale the corporate ladder or to make as much money as possible. Those are definitely vehicles that you can pursue if that is aligned for you, but that is not your purpose. Your purpose is feeling deeply connected to your true self and honoring that part of you, and not worrying about what the outside world says is successful or what makes you worthy, even what's going to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, like, the only thing that matters is what you give meaning to. If you're constantly chasing and doing and looking outside of yourself and going and thinking that busy is a badge of honor in some way, reevaluate that. Because I can almost guarantee that if you are the type of person who's running around with their head cut off, always, pouring from an empty cup, that was me. That was my life. So I can relate so much to that. And I just want to remind you that that is so far from the truth. If we're not looking at the present moment as a chance to actually live, and if we're doing all these things like meditation and spending time in nature and working on self-growth, what does it all mean if we can't even take a break from those things to actually live and be present? Because if we're so caught up in, oh, I have to do my meditation every single night, like I can't say yes to this event or yes to this person that I really actually want to spend time with or be at because I have to do my meditation, we're missing the point. This comes up a lot for my clients, and I just remind them the whole point of doing these modalities to heal and grow and evolve and be able to be more fulfilled and happy and present in the moment. We're doing those things so that we can live our life to the fullest and we can say yes to the thing and we can create space in our life and have more energy for the things that actually light us up, because rest is not something you need to earn. So I hope that helps you see things a little bit differently. I would love to know if you are someone who struggles to rest, because I'm right there with you, but I'm relearning, and I think there are a few tips that I can definitely share in another video. Life is so short. I don't ever want to get to the end of my life when maybe I'm 70, 80, 90 years old, depending on how lucky I am, how old I get, to look back and say, oh, whoa, like I just spent my whole entire life working and I didn't even enjoy it or live it. So something to think about too. Let me know in the comments what you think.